In the beginning, there was, nothing, actually. Later in the beginning, there's stuff now. A lot of stuff too. Planets, stars, rocks that could strike you down at any moment. Wow, so cool. And what is this? Two gods by the name of Che and Es. These two gods hate each other severely. Much like any reasonable omnipotent being, they fight. Over what, you may ask? Why, isn't it obvious? The questions that separate friends and families. Questions that philosophers have spent years trying to answer, like whether chocolate or strawberry is the better ice cream flavour. Are there more doors or wheels in the world? As for certain regarding these questions, Che and Es will go to great lengths to ensure that their respective viewpoint is correct. So much so that their battles have destroyed numerous civilizations, solar systems, galaxies even. Eventually they realize that maybe destroying galaxies was not a good idea. So instead, they came up with a game. The game of chess. Trademarked. They worked together to construct a planet. They gathered many great beings from across the universe. Some being massive titans, other being much too smart aliens and such. In order for it to be fair, it was turn-based. These warriors were frozen in time until one of the gods decided to move them. In order to decide who went first, they did a classic game of star, asteroid, and planet. Totally as in rock, paper, scissors. Che had emerged victorious from the stool, and from that point on, Che would always go first. He's the white one, by the way. Eventually, however, some alien explorers came across the planet during one of their many battles. Taking a great interest in it, they decided to copy the idea, simplify it by making a board instead of a planet, because they didn't have access to a whole planet. And using little pieces of wood and plastic to make the warriors, whom they assigned names to. Pawn. He possesses the ability to move forwards, and he can attack diagonally. That's kind of it. I mean, he can also reach the end of the board and get upgraded to like a queen or a bishop. Yeah. The rook. He can move in any four directions, infinitely. If a piece may come in his path, they are most certainly screwed. The knight, even though it's usually a horse. Lacking the ability to move directly forward, he can move in L shapes and he can even jump over his own pieces. This does come with the downside of making it quite hard to attack enemies. The bishop. He, much like the rook, can move in any direction, infinitely. Only he can go diagonally, not forward, or left, or right, or back. The queen. By far the strongest piece, she is a hybrid of both the rook and the bishop. She can go in all directions, diagonal or not, infinitely. And lastly, we have the king. He can't really do much. He can move in any direction for one block. That's it. He must be destroyed in order for your team to win. Together, these 6 pieces create what we know as the chess hexfecta, like a trifecta, but with 6. There are also some other ones at one point, like an elephant. Yeah. 5000 BCE. Whilst the aliens were playing a fascinating game of chess, they forgot to watch where their ship was headed. Never chess and drive, kids. So, the ship, it crashed. Where? In the great land down under of Australia. A resident of the country, Angus Sebastian, he found and raided the spaceship, finding a chessboard inside. Unknowing as to what it was, he simply threw it into the ocean and ripped off pieces of metal to forge a spear. Many years later, the board found itself in the hands of a Mongolian warrior, Genghis Khan. He would go on to use the chessboard to conquer many countries, beating them all in the game. His empire would soon fall, as his predecessors were bad at the game. Unknown to most, but both King Henry VIII and King Louis XVI, after their deaths, arose from their graves to fight each other. Why? I don't know. Why chess? I don't know. Louis ended up being victorious in this battle, using the Tennyson Gambit, a tactic one of Stalin's commanding officers would employ to beat an entire German regiment during the Second World War. He did incorporate a missile into it, making it what we now know as the Tennyson Missile Gambit. Ignore how one of Stalin's commanding officers knew of it when they were dead. Let's just say he can see spirits. This would eventually lead us to the first Grand Master, Abraham Lincoln. How did he become the first Grand Master? Simple. He self-appointed himself as one. Mind you, he was good at chess too. So it wasn't for nothing. Due to chess gaining immense popularity, many people who weren't experienced with chess tried getting away with cheating. All sorts of methods. From things as simple as getting somebody to cough out the correct positions, to perfectly timing a mudslide to take out their opponent. The most popular of these chess cheating scandals occurred in 1962 at the Candidates Tournament for the 1963 World Chess Championship, in which the top 3 Soviet players all drew in their matches against each other. Finally, chess had seen a major resurgence in popularity in the modern age. Mostly thanks to Chess.com, originally launching in May of 2007. It saw a skyrocket in players, all because of the pandemic, having only around 2 million daily players. But that number soon jumped up to 10 million by late January of 2020, and they've only been increasing.